All right, let's dig into this. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're taking a deep dive using your sources to really unpack the essentials. We're setting off on, well, an incredible journey into the heart of Nigeria. We're focusing on three really distinct regions: the capital, Abuja, and then the states of Niger and Ondo. Our mission, as always, is to sift through these articles, notes, all this research you've provided, and pull out those key insights, give you that shortcut to really understanding Nigeria's amazing diversity, its history, its culture.
Absolutely. And these three places, they really offer unique windows, you could say,
Yeah.
into Nigeria's bigger picture. They show how these incredibly different elements, you've got a planned capital, ancient kingdoms, stunning nature, how they all fit together,
Yeah.
how they contribute to the national story. It's like watching different threads weaving into one single strong piece of fabric.
That's a great way to put it. So let's start with Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Its origin story is so different, isn't it? Not like cities that just sort of grew over time.
You're spot on. Abuja was purpose-built. It was designated back in 1976, though the actual move from Lagos only happened officially in 91. And the idea, the real genius behind it, was designing it for neutrality. For unity, imagine planning a city completely from scratch, not just for government buildings, but specifically to, foster harmony between Nigeria's many, many ethnic groups.
Wow, designing a city for unity, that's a massive concept. How does that actually play out in the city's culture? I mean, Nigeria is known for its diversity. Does that plan hold up in reality?
Well, it creates what you could call a living ethnic mosaic. Abuja deliberately brings people together. You have the indigenous Tribagi people, Hausa speakers, and people speaking, over 50 other languages. They all add to this unique energy. And that careful design, it also helps foster pretty remarkable religious harmony. You've got roughly 50% Muslim, maybe 40% Christian populations living side by side, plus traditional beliefs too. The Abuja National Mosque and the National Christian Center, they're not just big buildings, they're really powerful symbols of this balance, sometimes even shared spaces. It's unity built right into the skyline, not just an idea.
That's quite a statement in stone and steel, but what about the living culture? Are there traditions, maybe festivals where you really see this blend bursting out? Oh, definitely. A great example is the Nollywood New Yam Festival. It happens every October. It's rooted in Igbo tradition, right? But in Abuja, it takes on this national feel, drawing people from all over. It kind of bridges that heritage with modern Nigerian entertainment.
Yeah.
You also see unique interfaith observances. Major holidays like Eid or Christmas often involve cross-community gatherings. It really helps cement that feeling of a shared identity.
Okay, so beyond the big symbolic stuff, what's the everyday vibe like? The food, the fashion, just walking down the street in Abuja. Abuja is a proper culinary crossroads. You can find amazing local food at places like Jevanik or Iya Oyo, really authentic stuff. Or you can go upscale, places like Nkoyo, staples like Two, that's a kind of thick swallow food, and of course jollof rice. Everyone knows jollof. And suya, those spicy grilled meat skewers, they're everywhere. And the fashion, it's just, wow, a visual feast. You'll see civil servants in their traditional tailored agbada robes or bubairo sets right next to people in Western suits. Then during festivals, the city just explodes with color-vibrant wrappers, Ankara prints, beautiful traditional beads. Even in casual places like those open-air bush bars or outside the mosques, you see this fascinating mix. Conservative styles, bold colors, everything together.
It really sounds like a city that reflects its diversity and actually celebrates it. What about language?
Right.
Or landmarks? Anything that really screams Abuja?
Yeah, language is interesting. English is official, obviously, and Hausa is spoken very widely. But the indigenous Gribagi language is still strong locally, acknowledging the original people of the area. There's even this great Gabagi-influenced Hausa phrase, Mui shi gwari gwari. Means something like, let's do it the Gabagi way, kind of a nod to their practical approach. Landmark-wise, you can't miss Aso Rock. It's this massive 936-meter monolith that basically anchors the three-arm zone where the government branches are. It even gave its name to the presidential residence, Aso Rock Villa. That's been the seat of power since '91. You've also got the huge Moshood Abiola National Stadium and Millennium Park, which is a lovely green space right in the city.
Okay, so if we pull back a bit, what does this all mean? What does it tell us about Abuja's role in Nigeria? It feels like more than just a capital city.
Oh, absolutely. Abuja is very much Nigeria's deliberate face to the world. It's a place where unity, neutrality, purpose, these aren't just ideals. They're woven into the streets, the buildings, the whole vibe. It really functions as a kind of powerful symbol, a microcosm of the entire nation's hope for a diverse but unified future.
Right, from that very modern planned city. Let's shift gears. Let's head north now to Niger State. This invites you, the listener, to see a completely different side of Nigeria.
Niger State, yes, it's famously called the Power State. And that's not just a kitschy nickname. It comes from its huge importance for hydroelectric power, especially from the Kainji Dam. That dam was, well, it was a massive project when it was built, a real symbol of Nigeria's ambition for energy independence. The landscape there is quite different, too. You get this mix of wooded Sudanian savanna and patches of forest, all shaped by the massive river Niger, the Kaduna River, and the huge Kainji Lake.
So strategically vital, not just geographically significant. What about the culture there, the history? How deep do those roots go?
Oh, very deep. Niger State has its own vibrant mix of peoples. The Nupe, Gabagi, Hausa, Fulani are major groups. Historically, this area was central to the Nupe kingdom, which was really powerful back in the 14th, 15th centuries, a time of great influence. Later became part of the Sokoto Caliphate, then British northern Nigeria, before finally becoming a state in February 1976. So it's got layers of history, indigenous kingdoms, Islamic influence, colonial rule.
And the Nupe specifically, are there traditions or maybe musical styles that really capture that unique history?
Yes, definitely. New traditions include really intricate wood carving and quite impressive brass work. You see it in their ceremonial items. Their masked rituals are also very striking. You often see them during festivals that honor the Etsu Nupe, their traditional ruler. And the music, well, traditional Nupe music often features Ningba musicians playing Enyan and Shiji drums. There's a lot of praise, singing, storytelling. It's how they pass down their history and values. And interestingly, there's even an emerging local film and music scene called Noopwood. It's a cool example of how traditional art is finding new contemporary forms.
That sounds incredibly rich. What about food or natural wonders? Anything that might surprise someone visiting Niger State?
Food-wise, you'll find staples like millet, sorghum, rice, often made into two that swallow food, served with northern soups like miankuka, which is made from baobab leaves, or tash, a groundnut soup, and the fish. Fresh fish from the Niger River is a really important and delicious part of the diet. Traditional clothing often involves brightly patterned wrappers and beautifully embroidered robes, very distinctive. For nature, Kainji Lake National Park is huge, over 5,000 square kilometers. It's got hippos, elephants, lions, amazing bird life, over 350 species. And Gurara Falls, it's this absolutely stunning waterfall, quite popular and actually pretty easy to get to from Abuja as well.
What's fascinating here is it really feels like the state's natural resources, the rivers, the land, are just so deeply connected to its identity, its history, almost symbiotic, you know?
Precisely. Those rivers, the fertile land, they've sustained these communities for centuries. And that influences everything, farming, diet, sure, but also the rhythms in their music, the patterns in their crafts. It's a constant flow, really just like the Niger River itself.
Okay, from the Power State, let's take another turn. Let's journey southwest now to Ondo State, often called the Sunshine State. This feels like stepping into yet another distinct cultural world.
It really is. Ondo's identity is deeply, deeply rooted in Yoruba heritage. But even within that, it's diverse. You have subgroups like the Akoko, the Ilaje down by the coast, the Ija too. It reflects this interesting mix of coastal, forest, and hill traditions. And the state has a reputation for warmth, for hospitality, and also for some incredible craftsmanship, especially weaving and carving.
Your notes mentioned a pulsing calendar of festivals. That sounds amazing. Can you give us a sense of what that's like?
Oh, it really does pulse. Some of the big ones. There's the Igogo Festival, which honors a queen, involves elaborate hairstyles, processions. Then the Ogun Festival, celebrating the god of iron, so blacksmiths and hunters are key. You have the Agungun masquerades, which are mesmerizing. It's Belize ancestors visit the living through these masked figures. And near the coast, the Olokun and boat regatta festivals honor the sea goddess. These events are just magnificent spectacles. They reveal so much about art, faith, community. The masquerade costumes can be incredibly elaborate. It's history brought to life, really.
Wow, it sounds like culture isn't just something in a museum there. It's lived out loud. Any famous names, maybe musicians, artists that come from Ondo?
Ondo town itself is famously the birthplace of the Juju music legend, King Sunny Ade. A global icon, really. He put Nigerian music on the world map. But beyond music, you've got major figures from Ondo and Nollywood, people like Mo Abudu, Omotola Jalade Kinde, who've hugely shaped African cinema. Even the American rapper Whale, his family has strong Ondo roots, so its influence spreads far.
Incredible connections. What about the landscape itself? What defines the Sunshine State naturally? Any unique features?
The landscape is stunningly diverse. Down south, near Igbokota, you have these winding tidal creeks, reflecting the coastal environment. Then inland, you get lush forests, savanna uplands, leading to the really majestic Adonre Hills. Now, the Adonre Hills are something else. They're actually UNESCO nominated, rising over 1,000 meters. Just beautiful. But they're not just pretty. They support unique plants and animals like rock hyraxes and bats. And they're hugely culturally significant. You can actually climb over 800 steps, quite a trek, up to the ancient Owa's Palace at the summit. It feels like climbing back through time, a real connection to the past.
That sounds absolutely incredible. A must-do for sure. What about the local food? And are there specific places preserving all this rich culture?
Ondo's food features those Yoruba classics, amala, pounded yam, fufu, egusi soup. Delicious. And from the coast, around Igbokoda, you get fantastic fresh seafood stews. Makes sense, right by the Atlantic. For preservation, the Owo Museum is key. It holds these amazing 15th century ivory and terracotta pieces, a real window into ancient Yoruba kingdoms. And Ondo Tam itself, sometimes called the King of Honors, is famous for its big cocoa plantations and also for its intricate Eso Oke weaving. That's a beautiful, highly valued hand-loomed cloth.
Okay, this raises an important question then. With all this Yoruba heritage, but also diversity within it, and Ijaja speakers too, what about language nuances? How does that work day to day?
It's fascinating. Yoruba is dominant, but you have various dialects, Ondo, Akoko, Ukan, others, and then Ija along the coast. English, of course, is the official language linking everyone. But here's a great example of how subtle it can be. In the Ondo dialect, the word okwa, depending entirely on the tone you use, it can mean beans or it can mean beauty.
No way. Beans or beauty?
Exactly. It's a perfect little insight into how rich and precise the tonal aspect of the language is. Like a kind of linguistic secret handshake almost.
What an incredible deep dive we've had. We've gone from Abuja, that purpose-built symbol of unity, through Niger, the power state with its ancient roots and vital resources, down to Ondo, the sunshine state, steeped in Yoruba heritage and vibrant festivals. Each region really does bring a unique, irreplaceable thread to Nigeria's amazing national fabric.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, understanding these distinct places, it really shows you the power of that unity and diversity idea in Nigeria. It shows how ancient traditions aren't just surviving, they're thriving, they're evolving right alongside modern life. It shapes this truly dynamic nation that's always building on its past.
So as you, our listener, think about everything we've covered, here's something to chew on. How do these deep-rooted regional characteristics keep shaping Nigeria's identity on the world stage today? And maybe what can these different ways of approaching culture, history, and development teach all of us about navigating our own complex, interconnected world?